All right. We are back here in Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It's Wednesday, Wanderlust Wednesday here in the cave. Some of you thought yesterday was a Wanderlust Wednesday with a little bit of big audio dynamite. That was a good one. I hope some of you checked that out if you've not heard it before. And I always love to hear what people think about music they haven't heard before, or if they get to revisit something they haven't heard in a while. But this is Wanderlust Wednesday here today. And this is one of my favorite artists, and you're just going to have to buckle up. I'm going to try to get through this, but, I just can't find ways to do 4-minute episodes or even 5-minute episodes. It's usually in the 7 to 9 minute. It's just the way it is. So today is probably going to be that case. Could be 10. I don't know. But, hey, you can fast forward. You can hit stop. You can hit whatever you want to hit. Anyway, I'm excited to talk about this artist. I have covered him before. And as I said, we will be doing a little bit of that moving forward as far as revisiting some artists. But we're talking today about the great Townes Van Zandt. Out of Fort Worth, Texas. What a great artist this guy was. And if you don't know who he is, I hope you're going to take some time to check it out because it's pretty amazing. But Townes Van Zandt, he was born in Fort Worth, Texas. Got a guitar at age 12. He, like many others, saw Elvis on Ed Sullivan. It was either Elvis or the Beatles, and people, many artists will say that's what made them want to be musicians, and for him it was Elvis. Moved around a bit. His parents were wealthy and had a long lineage of higher up people in the Texas government through the generations. But anyway, they moved around Montana, Boulder, Colorado, fond memories of Boulder. He enrolled in UC Boulder in 1962, and then after a little bit of time, his parents came to get him and take him home due to his excess drinking, and he suffered from depression his whole life. The treatment for that in the early 60s was 3 months of insulin comas. They would give you high doses of insulin and put you in a coma for weeks at a time, days or weeks at a time, and he suffered long-term memory loss the rest of his life for that. 1965, he starts playing in lounges. You got to think about this. He's just doing the music thing. He's coming from that background. He's battling with substance abuse and depression, like so many, and he became friends with a lot of his heroes, Lightning Hawkins, Guy Clark here, huge fan of Guy Clark, Doc Watson, Jerry Jeff Walker, and he would go on to put out 6 albums in the 1970s, very influential. The very first song he ever wrote, Waiting Around to Die. Think about that. If you're a parent, your son's first song is called Waiting Around to Die. And that pretty much told the story of Townes Van Zandt for a lot of his career. But he also wrote, most famously, Poncho and Lefty, which Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard would go on to make famous, and so many others. But he had so many great songs that he wrote. To Live Is to Fly, If I Needed You, For the Sake of the Song. So good. And he's a storyteller. And this is the Austin sound. It's Americana. It's bluegrass, whatever you want to call it. It's not country. So for some of you people are going to hear what I'm playing, you're going to be like, Mark, I don't know who you are, Dwight. You're going to be like, Mark, this is country music. You like country music. And I hear what you're saying, but the Austin sound, that Americana bluegrass stuff is different in that way. And this is so good. So how did I even get turned on to him? Well, a good friend of ours, Jeff Hayes, and his wife, Allison, it was all about Jeff Hayes. He said, they're playing, these two guys are playing Northampton. They're playing, and we got to go see them. It's amazing. They're playing the Iron Horse. It's Guy Clark. It's Townes Van Zandt. I'm like, we never heard of them. It's 1996. And I said, no, I got to go see them. It's going to be amazing. So we go. in this tiny little place, and these two guys play, and I was just like, what's going on here? This is so good. And just amazing. I mean, he's a storyteller. His songs, there are very few choruses in his songs. It's usually just one long story. Now, granted, the stories are usually, when you listen to the words, pretty darn depressing about the downtrodden, the people who, just the people on the fringes of society, and pretty sad stories. But you got to listen to the words because his lyrics are amazing. And it's just so good. He did some covers along the way. He's got some amazing covers, but he's the song Ira Hayes, the song about the Pima Indian that fought at Iwo Jima, and it's just this amazing song. He covered Bruce Springsteen, Racing in the Streets, great song. It's one of my favorite Bruce songs, and he does a very nice take on it. It's very good. Post that below. But yeah, he was, again, very influential. And these two guys, Guy Clark, Townes Van Zandt, amazing. And you have to watch the documentary, Be Here to Love Me, to understand what we're talking about here. And so I would challenge some of you to pull that up and find it and watch it. It's pretty interesting. But what are we talking about today? We're almost 7 minutes in. We're going to 1994, the first album I ever got from him, his 10th studio album. And that's what Jeff turned us on to. And it basically, it's called No Deeper Blue. And he died in January 1st, 1997. So this is 3 years before his death. This record comes out. We see him in concert 2 years before his death. And wow, this record. So the story goes that he wakes up from a dream, and the dream is he needs to go to Ireland and make a record with Philip Donnelly. And Philip Donnelly is this guitar player who's worked with Johnny Cash, John Prine, Donovan, and he played guitar on Townes' record, Flying Shoes, in 1978. How random is that? So he says, I got to go make a record with him. And so he goes to find his phone number, finds like 17 different numbers for him, calls the number, he answers, is like, I just had a dream, we got to make a record. He says, come out here. So he flies to Ireland, gets a bunch of musicians together, and gets Donovan to play harmonica on this record. But Donovan, right? Everybody went over this. Love Donovan, Sunshine Superman, all that good stuff. And his daughter in the sky, we talked about that from Say Anything. Anyway. So he gets all these Irish musicians together, and they put together this record, these songs that he wrote. Unbelievably good, so amazing. And this is the record you need to listen to. I listen to this record a lot. I've been listening to it for the last week. This is what happens. I cycle through stuff, and I just can't get enough of these songs. And we're talking a song for going down to Memphis. Again, these all tell stories. You got to listen to the words. There's a couple of lullabies for his children on there. Hey Billy Boy, Hey Billy Boy. Katie Bell, Blue, the whole, amazing. I mean, you listen to the words, you're getting dragged down into a hole, and you meet anyway, I'm not going to give it away, but this is some pretty dark stuff. Marie, awesome song. Again, still a lot of that. But there is some levity here. Going down to Memphis, sounds like a regular blues song. But for me, it's two songs. We're talking Blazes Blues. Awesome. There's plenty of acoustic stuff out there, but this is the one on the record where you hear the guitar. So amazing. I love this song. So Blazes Blues, and then Billy, Boney and Ma. We've talked about that once before, early in this season's, I forget which season it was in. But Billy, Boney and Ma. Again, no choruses. This is just about a guy who's digging around, finds a pile of bones. Think about how he thought about the story. Finds a pile of bones, and they stand up and they start talking to him. And there's all these lines in there that are just hysterical. It's like Billy decided, what the hell, you don't meet a bone man every day. These two guys start jawing away. Pretty soon they're seeing socket to eye, and they decide they want to lead a life of crime and rob people between Billy's brains and Boney's looks. And that's what they do. They scare people and steal from them. I'm not going to ruin the end, but I love the lines where Boney starts gaining weight and that pounds that on like they will. And then there's the ending, which I won't. But you have to listen to it. This is such good stuff. But anyway, 10 albums, studio albums, 6 albums released after his death, 20 live albums, plenty of things to check out. But he is absolutely amazing. In that concert we saw, amazing. We love Townes Van Zandt. I'm almost at 11 minutes. We're going to post a bunch of stuff below, but give it a listen. I dare some of you to try this out. Listen to it a few times. Tell me what you think. But if you want one or two just to see what I'm talking about, you're playing Billy, Boney and Ma and Blazes Blues. And then if you want, dig deeper. Tell me if you do. Tell me if you know it. Tell me if you listen. Tell me what you like. Whatever it is. Whatever it is you're doing today, hope it involves music. And today it involves Townes Van Zandt. Have a good one. And as usual, catch you on the flip side.